The first memories I have actually of circus, I was in my teen years, and I remember watching them, and I was just, wow. I was just amazed, and I just thought, how amazing would it be if ever I could do something like that? And back then I never thought it would be a thing or an art that you could just pursue. I thought you'd had to be born in a circus, you'd have to, be a traditional circus performer. And I think when I saw circus the first time, something clicked in me, and I just thought, imagine if I could one day perform the way I saw this girl on a hoop actually, and I just thought, what if one day I could perform the same way she did? And wow, I look at it back now in hindsight, and I've worked so hard. I worked so hard for so long, and now I am performing myself, and I just, sometimes I think about it and I don't think it's true, I don't think it's real.
My first memory of circus was aged, I think, 6 or 7, and there's a photograph of me. I'm from a small mining town in the Midlands, in Nottinghamshire. And there was a zoo in our town. It was an awful, sort of really low-budget zoo where the animals are treated really badly. It was weird to have a zoo in a small town, but it did exist, a place called Hucknall. And once a year they bring a circus there and use some of the animals from the zoo within it. I didn't know about the cruelty and stuff, and I remember going to this my one and only time as a child, going to a circus in a big top. I cried all the way through. I remember I was scared of the clowns. So my experience, I think I wanted to get out. I joined Jackson's Lane when it's not in a great position, shall we say, about 12 years ago. And it didn't really have an identity of any kind. It had been known for kind of disability-led arts, it had been known for dance, but it was still kind of struggling to establish any profile. I tended to take on failing venues. There always seemed to be old buildings, and I took a venue in Tunbridge Wells, which was an old church like Jackson's Lane, and it had height and it had rigging points, and it was like, okay, so that's interesting. This, the sort of smaller scale drama stuff used to drown in there, but actually larger scale stuff. And then when we started to experiment with circus, because I had a background in it, we found that audiences were really receptive to seeing circus in theatres, which is still quite a new thing, really. It wasn't commonplace like it is now. So when I came here, it was a slow process of trying to get talking to artists, and the realisation that what was needed in London and the UK to an extent was a home for circus.
Once a professional dancer, Mel Stevens broke her back 10 years ago. She then discovered that hanging upside down not only helped her physical state, but spurred her on mentally as well.
The most unexpected changes that came from circus were the benefits that came to my health. None of them were really expected. I knew that circus made me feel better, whether I was playing with juggling or hanging in the air, because I was laughing. I wasn't expecting to stand. The doctors told me that I was never going to stand again because of the break of my back, and having broken my back giving birth, and naturally you lose breast milk because you've given birth, so the bones couldn't heal normally like they normally would heal, so they just kept breaking. And for 9 years I broke. Every time I tried to learn to walk, I would break. So I had 9 breaks over 9 years. From when I started hanging and decompressing, because of course the minute you hang, your head is the heaviest part of your body, the spine just opens up and the nerves are free, and so I get movement in my legs, in my toes, and very, very freeing. So I was never supposed to stand. I learnt to stand. Not only do I stand, I acrobase people, whether I'm on the floor or in my wheelchair or on a trapeze. I can pull people up and throw them around, and it's, you know, I think the wheelchair was a hidden gift that I got this extra strength without looking for it.
Circus is my physical language of expression. It's my job. It's the reason I wake up every day to go to work, whether it's training or performing. It's something that's picked me up in life. I think when I started circus professionally, I wasn't in my best place. I think I was feeling a bit lost. I wasn't quite sure what my direction and my place in the world was, and I found that circus gave me a place in the world. It gave me a skill to share. It gave me a creativity to express. It also gave me like a cathartic way of expressing myself. So really using circus as therapy, using my art and what I make to show how I'm feeling inside, but also to like question ideas. So for me, circus is everything. It's a political statement. It's a challenging statement. It's a way to challenge the establishment, to challenge myself and push my own boundaries, push my own limits.
Defies the impossible. I think it's the most exciting, still emerging art form, contemporary circus. And I think I see it as just really just a theatrical form, but the most exciting theatrical form there is. And I never get bored with circus. I get bored with watching plays. I do, not always, but circus has something immediate which makes the audience feel that they are active as opposed to passive, that they are somehow involved. And I don't mean audience participation or getting on the stage, but you're kind of sitting forward. I think that's something that I would say only circus can achieve. But yeah, it's the cliches of edge of your seat and breathtaking, all that. But you know, those things are there for a reason. It's also, I think, the reason people love circus is the fear of failure and the fear of, I won't say death, but but it does, you know, the fear, the danger. And that you can't deny. Maybe less so in juggling, but it's not that people want people to fail or fall, but it's I think there's the feeling that it is, you know, you're watching something where you're watching bodies do the almost impossible.
Circus, I find it's such a big umbrella. If you'd have asked me 20 years ago how would I feel about joining the circus, I would probably have taken it as an insult, as if I was doing something really stupid or wrong or incorrect, and I would have probably have been defensive. From what traditional circus is, I would never have fitted that model. I could never do 85 shows a month back to back, so I would say no, I wouldn't do the circus. But then when I look at aerials and the dance and the expression, of course it's circus, and to me it is again that little light that someone has ignited for me, and I hope that I'm igniting it for someone else. And circus can be anywhere. It's not always in that big top like I imagined it would be. It can be in your high street, it can be in your theatre, it can be absolutely anywhere. Circus is contagious, and half the time you don't realise we're even looking at it. You know, suspended off buildings in harnesses, dancing off of walls, off of mirrors, off of windows. It's all circus, and to me circus is just a spectacle of joy. And if you're looking at something that's just making you smile for no reason at all, in my opinion, that's what circus is.